What's going on, everybody? This is Warren Dews, the publisher of the Upstater.com, the Greenville Pioneer, the Ravenna News Herald, and the Columbia Paper. As you know, I come to you from time to time, and we have this thing called Community Conversations, and we do a thing called Get to Know, Ask the Expert, or Meet Your Neighbor. Well, today, I have a new friend with me today. We're going to meet with my new friend. We're at this big, beautiful place up here, and where are we again?
We are in the Queens Industrial Park.
Okay.
Which is part of the Carver Companies properties here at the Port of Queens in beautiful Queens, New York.
So who are you?
My name is Josh Kowalski. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Business Development here at the Port of Queens.
So Josh, I appreciate being here. I met was Carver and his wife the other day at our Top 5 event. Amazing event. Y'all got an award. You were selected from the community as a top 5 business. It wasn't our selection, the community actually selected y'all, and congratulations. It was a great event. He enjoyed himself. What I always wanted to know is, Carver's been here for how long, the company?
So the Carver Companies themselves, Carver went out on his own in 1989 as an owner-operator of a small little excavating company, putting in basements, putting in water lines, and little by little, he developed into a larger site working company, and then he added trucks, then he added gravel pits, then a stone quarry, and in early 2000s, he came across the property here at the Port of Queens, which was a brick factory. It was the last operating brick factory on the Hudson River, and there is a lot of history with that aspect of it. There's a great, the clay content in the soil here was perfect for making bricks, supplying them to New York City using the beautiful Hudson River. And the property became available, and Carver purchased it and kind of developed it into what it is today by slowly building on the infrastructure that was there, and then starting to bring our stone in, putting it into barges, delivering the barges down to New York, supplying a lot of the stone for New York City, and then developing that into the modularization, basically, of some large construction projects, whether that's power plants or bridges. So it's kind of developed into an empire, not an empire, but a great business story.
A good business.
Yeah.
What is something, not one thing, but a couple of things that, you want people to know about Carver and this company?
I was born and raised right in the Capital District.
Okay.
Just outside of Schenectady, Rotterdam area. My whole life lived here. My family's here. The Carver Companies, to me, represents a reason to stay.
Okay.
I mean, I've been in the construction industry for 24 years now, and when you're doing construction in the Capital Region, the one name you see over and over again is Carver. And to be a part of it, and to help to build and to help maintain the talent. When I say the talent, I mean it's my children, it's my children's children. We want a reason for them to stay in this area. And if the jobs are elsewhere, if the jobs are here, if the opportunities are here, they're going to stay here.
Let me ask you a question. If I went and pulled up one of the employees and just grabbed them up and said, hey, what do you think about Carver? What would you think they would say?
The majority of our employees are highly skilled, highly dedicated individuals that at the end of the day, they want to look back and see what they did. And there's a lot of pride in when you come to work, here's the task at hand, and we're going to take care of that task, and we're going to get it done, and there's a camaraderie that builds amongst our teams out in the yard. And that is a lot of fun. The other thing is, you're never going to get bored here. You're always going to be doing something. We're either going to be offloading a salt vessel, or we're going to be bringing material next door to our neighbors at Lafarge. It's exciting work. It's fulfilling work. The guys leave with a sense of pride. Hey, we're building something.
I mentioned Top 5 event. That's an event that we do that we can't do without sponsors, and your company is one of our sponsors, so we appreciate that. The other thing I want to make sure I mention, because you always got those people go, they're a sponsor, that's why they won. No, it was selected from the community, so I just want to put that out there, is that the things that we do as a newspaper, as a media company, as a digital provider, we can't do without help with companies such as yourself. You do these things out of kindness of your heart. It's not to buy news, because we're going to write stories about whatever the story is. We're going to write the story. I appreciate the fact that you helped to sponsor that event, and I wanted to thank you for that. Why is that important to you to not only help us, but help other people in the community?
Well, the community it's the reason we're here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the community supports us. The community supports our employees. Our employees, we need the community to be behind the things we're doing, which gives us the opportunity to go out and make other opportunities for more work to continue to keep people here. So it's a nice cycle that's created.
Well, how many people you employ?
The Carver Companies have just over 600 employees total, and we have 444 working here in New York.
Revenue-wise, what kind of revenue you bring into this market? It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And when you look at it, big picture, I mean, the trucks moving material, the excavators, the site work that we still do, and then you look out on the river and you look at the barges and you look at the amount of material we move to New York City or bring back from New York City, and you think about the environmental impact, just to change speeds a little bit, the environmental impact of those barges moving 1 million tons of material annually takes all those trucks off the road that would be going into New York, and congestion, and not only those trucks individual, but the congestion that's caused by those trucks. So you take that out of the picture. I think we're doing a lot of good stuff.
What do you want to say to those people that get upset and mad? Or
talk to us as much as we can. We're going to be transparent. I mean, what we're doing is not, there's no nuclear activity over here. We're moving stone, we're moving, steel. There's several aspects that we hit when we're looking at a project. With the wind projects, a lot of, after the announcement was made, the comment was made to me several times, why so secretive? And this is new to me because I'm a very open person, but when we're looking at projects like that, we're under certain NDAs where you can't talk about it. You can't even let any little aspect out because there's competitive bids going on. There's a lot of things that have to be considered. But I would like to assure people that when the Carver Companies, when we're looking at these opportunities, we're looking at the environmental impact for the state as a whole. We're looking at helping New York State with its energy goals, which are the most aggressive in the country. And we're looking at the opportunities that it's going to bring to this area, back to keeping our next generation in this area, giving them a reason to stay.
A couple of minutes, we're about to go out, and you're going to take us on a tour?
Yep.
To explain what we're going to see.
Right now, there's several projects going on in the yard over in Queensland, or in the port. We have the Portal Bridge, which is a 3-span rail bridge that's going to be going across the Hackensack River. It's a rail bridge that, I forget the number of people that it carries, but a passenger car goes over it every 7 minutes.
You're building it here?
It's being built here. We're gonna, this fall, we'll be putting it in 3 different sections out onto a barge, float it down, and be put in place.
That's crazy. So we're gonna see that today?
We're gonna see that.
Awesome.
And then the one other project we won't get deep into it, but we'll take a quick ride, is the Sunrise Wind Project, which is an offshore wind project for Ørsted, being built here by Riggs Distler. They are building 3 components, one being the external platforms, one being the internal platforms, and then one being the sacrificial anode cages.
The who?
The sacrificial anode cages.
What is that?
So I don't know if they're called sacrificial anode cages, but they are a cage that goes around the steel towers.
Okay.
And it attracts the salt from the water, so those steel towers don't.
Okay.
So they don't corrode, and it pulls that salt out of the water. And we have zincs on the bottom of all of our barges.
Okay.
To prevent the salt damage.
Awesome. So we're gonna go do that now. We're gonna continue to record that when we get over there, but more to come.
If you look at behind me, there's 2 transformers. The one on the right is for Ravenswood Power Plant down in New York, and this one's for Bayonne Power Plant in New Jersey. After Sandy, the backup transformers had to be stored off-site out of the same floodplain as the power plant. So they have two backups sitting here. If anything were to happen, they need to replace a transformer. We could have that down there in a quick time instead of waiting for it to come from overseas.
So they just sitting here.
They're just sitting. They fill them with the oils. They test them. We have full containment around them. If they ever had an issue, we'd be able to it'd be a clean issue. The building we're going to be looking at right now, this brick building, was the original horse barn at the brick factory. And a year and a half ago, it was down 2 levels. And we picked it up and walked it up the hill and put it in a new spot.
No, stop, slow down. You did what? You picked this building up?
Yes. So
you can't be talking about stuff like that. Like, oh, we just picked the building up and moved it. You picked that building up?
That building got picked up and walked up and put on a new foundation. Again, it was the original horse barn, so it was a historic site that Carver and the team wanted to preserve. You think about moving it. I mean, the company that came in and moved it, they obviously moving a brick building like that, there's some concern with lifting it, the bricks falling, and then once one brick falls. But when Carver first bought the property, he had the inside of that building spray foamed, and that worked like a internal skeleton.
Oh,
so
really?
It held all the bricks together when they moved it.
That's crazy.
We are going over to the Queens Industrial Park.
Okay.
As the opportunities came for the modularization of some of these large construction projects, the power plants, the bridges, and we were doing some aggregates and some different materials on that side of the road. We were like, well, where can we put those so we can take advantage of the spot we have? And that's when this property over here, about 300 acres, which used to be the old mushroom factory or mushroom grow facility. The idea was to have 30 different businesses doing 30 different things, each with 30 different employees. And you'd have 900 jobs just like that. And when you have 30 different businesses doing 30 different things, one business might be up, one's down, and we're building a community to support each other.
Okay.
So
cool.
Josh, the industrial park has the capacity to hold 30 businesses?
Not anymore. At one point it did.
Because businesses expanded and took over more
Correct.
property? Okay.
I think the last count we had was there's 18 businesses, and including Carver, there's about 769 employees working here at the industrial park.
And are there any shovel-ready sites that are available right now?
There is one.
Wow.
For up to 100,000 square foot warehouse.
Okay.
So Marlene, another thing, I mean, you do a lot in the community. You're also part of, tell everybody what organization you're a part of as well.
So I serve as the chairperson of the board of directors for the RCS Community Business Association, and I also serve on the board of directors for the Albany County IDA, and the Josh. I actually serve with Josh on the leadership board for the Center for Economic Growth, which seeks to attract businesses here to our region from all over the world.
Okay.
And so that Josh and I, serving on that board, are privy to a lot of really interesting and amazing development that's happening in our region.
Awesome. So Josh, what's this in front of me, right? What's all this stuff over here?
So this is packaged salt. North American Packaging. We bring in salt from overseas. It's usually a dry salt, and it has to be a dry salt. But we have a full-fledged packaging company working inside this building.
Are they're a separate company?
Separate company.
Oh, okay. So this is another company that's on Carver
Correct.
property doing work. Okay.
Yep.
And now these rocks and stuff, they're rocks, and
They are not. That's
Okay.
the hybrid stone. They're a Belgian block. As you can see, they put them on pallets to ship all over the place.
so this is Carver stone.
no, the hybrid stone.
Okay. Gotcha.
But we will. So I like to consider ourselves like a 5-star resort for projects like this.
Okay.
You can bring your stone in. You can hire your own guys. You can have them pallet it up, or you can hire us to pallet it, strap it down, move it, load out the trucks, and it's like being at a resort. If you want to be, if you want to sit by the pool and read your book all day, you're fine doing that. But if you want to go and take advantage of the jet skiing and all that sort of stuff, Mai Tais, we'll do that for you as well.
That's awesome.
Concierge service.
That's correct.
So we see the proximity to the thruway here.
Yep. We went by the waterfront over on the Hudson River. It's almost a perfect match. It's 3,500 linear feet of Hudson River front and 3,500 feet of New York State thruway.
Right on the highway.
Yep.
What other companies do you have on the property?
So right here we're looking at Hulcher. Hulcher does a lot of emergency rail work.
Okay.
So when rail cars go off the tracks, or when there's a rail that needs to be repaired, these guys get called and go around and fix it.
And it's your job to keep these buildings full, right?
That is correct.
This
This here is an asphalt recycler. So that we partnered with a company out of New York City, Green Asphalt, and we've assembled. This was our old one. This was a small version of it. We've assembled a state-of-the-art unit over in Altamont, where we're making 100% fully recycled asphalt using the millings that come off jobs in New York City or locally. What millings are is they're the old asphalt that gets dug up when roads get redone.
What happens to the millings if they're not recycled?
They would just sit in the emulsion. I don't really know what would happen. It would just probably go as general fill somewhere.
Okay.
We are going to pull into one of our customers' salt buildings. It was a strong end of the year for salt deliveries. So this building was full probably mid-December, but now, as you can see, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty, which is good because now we can book vessels to bring in more salt.
So they just throw the salt here and just dig it out and.
Yep.
That's
Well,
good.
You can drive up there.
You can drive up there. I choose not to. This here is CTI, not to be confused with TCI. And CTI does a lot of industrial coatings. They do pipe wraps for water lines, to give water lines that are buried underneath the city. They'll give them an extra life. And what's a common factor for us with our tenants is we like to be able to work together on things. Now TCI, we've worked on several projects together where they'll bring in large transformers that are too big for their equipment to move, and we'll have the equipment to move them. The one I remember from a few years ago, they had to do an autopsy on some transformers that had failed before their lifespan, and we moved them and they operated and found the cause of the problem.
Okay.
And CTI, we've done some power plant projects where they'll bring in pipe, we'll weld it, they'll coat it, we'll load it out to a barge and send it down to power plants in New Jersey, New York. So it's a pretty good atmosphere to work together and have a little synergy.
Awesome. What is this called again? You had mentioned it a couple minutes ago, but
P&M Brick.
P&M Brick, okay.
Yep. We're getting ready for large projects, bridge projects, offshore wind projects. We've kind of developed a mousetrap for having somebody build a large structure on land, and we'll move it out to a barge, and then we'll tow the barge down to site.
What is that big thing right there? Is that a bridge that's going out somewhere?
That is the Portal Bridge. That is for going across the Hackensack River. That'll be that's a rail bridge for, I think it's New Jersey Rail. A car will go across that bridge. A passenger car will go across that bridge every 7 minutes once it's in place.
My mind is blown. Let's step back. Y'all built that here.
Yep.
From scratch.
The steel comes in. The construction team puts it together, and right now they're putting those cables in, and there'll be 3 sections similar to that, each weighing about 2,500 ton. This is our Marine Steelworks building. And we call it the Marine Steelworks building because we do a lot of steel work. We skin the bottom of barges, we'll repair barges, and with that blue crane, right in front, that's a 900 metric ton crane that lifts a barge right out of the water, and it can walk it right into the building. And if you see the concrete pieces that go all the way around that building, those big blocks, that is the old Tappan Zee Bridge. You know, a lot of people know us for being able to mobilize the new bridge, the Mario Cuomo Bridge. The precast concrete came through here. The big blue steel beams came through here, and were all delivered by barge to site. We were part of the demo contract. We saved some of the better pieces and built a retaining wall out of them.
That's crazy. So this thing goes to the water, pulls it out, and brings it over here.
Yes, you can see our inlet. Our inlet, we pull a barge right in there or a tugboat, and we walk that 900 metric ton crane across. We strap underneath, we lift it out, and we'll bring it inside. It's the creature comforts of being a Carver welder. We give you a floor that's radiant heat for the wintertime. We get you out of the elements. It's not a bad thing.
Because they used to have to do that while it was in the water?
We would pull it out.
Okay.
We would pull it out of the water using large inflatable Tootsie Rolls, we'd call them. We'd put 3 or 4 of them underneath. We'd pull it up using some of our heavy equipment, and we'd walk it up on land, put it up on some stools, and then we would work on it on land.
Wanted to make sure that we mentioned the City Island project.
Pier 55, as it was first known, my cousin's son came in from California, him and his wife, and they went down to New York City and then came up and were visiting with us, and they said, we saw this coolest park down here. They said, I think it's called Little Island, and it's just south of Chelsea down in New York City, and it's all these individual pods, and the landscaping's beautiful. There's a little concert area. There's vendors all over. He goes, it's the coolest thing. I said, you know what? That was built on my site. He goes, it was built on your site? I said, yes. So the steel or the precast concrete came in from Fort Miller Company, a company up in Saratoga County. They did all the precast concrete pedals. There was 4 and 5 pedals for each pod. They were assembled here. All the steel the aluminum was welded. Our welders are all aluminum certified. They welded it, they grouted it, and then we lifted it up using our crane, walked it out over the barge, lowered it in, and brought it down to site to be put in place.
What is this? These two things right here?
So these are hoppers. So they're the hoppers we use when we offload a vessel. We move those depending on the vessel's configuration. We'll move those to our main dock, and we will using the cranes on the ship, we'll put our usually salt or gypsum, bauxite. We'll put it into those hoppers. We'll back our trucks underneath it.
Oh, okay.
And they'll load up the trucks, and it really cuts down on the mess you would have if you were just loading directly to a truck.
Okay.
When you look at the Carver Companies or the Carver Marine Towing has grown into 10 tugboats now and over 40 barges.
What is this guy doing with the water? Why is he watering?
So when we water like this, it's what we do is a dirty industry. There's always dirt kicking up or dust kicking up. He's watering it down to keep the dust down.
Oh, okay.
We have 9 cranes here on site. This is not our biggest one. It's actually our 3rd biggest one. It's a 220 ton Liebherr 895. That machine is used for, it can be used as a lift crane. It's really meant to be used for moving material.
What's up there, up top?
That up there is the Sunrise Wind components being built.
Josh, what's the value of that crane we just drove by?
We bought it in 2017. I want to say it was right around $3 million, give or take. And you can see some of our stone.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, explain that.
So we bring in stone from several quarries right here locally in Ravenna. We bring some from Schoharie. We also bring some from Johnstown.
I really appreciate the time, man. This is amazing thing. If you had to think of one phrase or word to describe Carver, what the company, what would it be? In your opinion, this is your opinion.
Not stopping. It's we're gonna continue to find solutions for our customers to, to any problems that we see logistically. We love finding problems. We're a group of strong-minded problem solvers, and we're here to help. I mean, that's where we have our fun.
Once again, this is Warren Dews with the Upstater, the Ravenna News Herald, the Greenville Pioneer, and the Columbia Paper. And this is Get to Know under the Community Conversations. Thank you so much.